Are you struggling to adapt the new normal? Do you worry about the future? Are you struggling to balance work and family life? Well, if the answer is yes, then this is your show. Hi, my name is Sangeeta Dewan. Welcome to my show with Chit-Chat and Try with me. Hi, Florina. Welcome to our show.
Hello, 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 lovely Sangeeta. And how are you?
I'm good. You're glowing. You know what? I want to introduce you properly to our audience. Well, Florina is a therapist, a spiritual therapist, I think, an intuitive life coach, and a dear, dear friend. And thank you for being here. The questions we are asking, time has been a little difficult for all of us, very challenging. What we are going through it. So I thought, what? It'll be so lovely to ask you how this COVID has knocked you and how you got back into balance and everything. But let's say hi. And where is your chai?
Well, my chai today is water.
All
Just,
right.
just, just. I've had lots of chai,
Yeah.
so I'm just having some water. So I shall say, happy chai.
Happy chai. Well, water is the main ingredient in chai, isn't it?
Indeed, it is. Without water, we would have no chai at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what is your morning routine? You wake up, do you have chai or do you have water or
Oh my goodness me! If I do not have my morning chai,
you
I'm
can't work,
not, I'm not able to function.
function?
Absolutely. So I have my morning chai, and my morning chai is really builder's tea with milk. And then I go into my room, I light my incense, my candle, and I do my prayers, my meditation, and that sets me up for the day.
Yeah.
But not without that
That's
chai, I'm telling you.
You know
Yes.
what? Few years back, I was like that. I had to wake up and have chai. But I think, especially in COVID as well, I've tried to do things differently. So I remember waking up and I went into doing this yoga. I learned Shambhavi Mudra from Sadhguru. And so what I do is I wake up in the morning, have shower, do my yoga, do my prayers, and then
Mhm.
I end up having breakfast. So if I have porridge or something like that, and then before I start my work, I have a cup of tea. I come in this
Okay.
room, so I make a cup of tea or something like that. But I know a lot of times I used to think if I don't wake up and don't have tea, I'll have headache. And because I was carrying that belief, every time I used to wake up and don't have tea, I used to have headache. And I remember just changing that belief and saying, well, no, that's what I say to myself. Let's say something different.
That's so true, isn't it? We
Yeah,
we
and it's
we
changed.
have these beliefs and we don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
And so often they're so easy to change.
They are. But it's about becoming aware, isn't it?
Oh, everything is awareness.
Yeah.
Everything. Yes, indeed. It really is because that's the way we awaken. That's how we learn.
That's how we grow, isn't it? Until we find
Completely.
out what is happening, we cannot change. The awareness
Yes.
is the first aspect of change, isn't it? But like
Yes.
I was asking you, going through this COVID and suddenly the life is changed for everyone. It has thrown us all off balance. For me, suddenly Mahesh is working from home. Boys had to come back from uni, and there's so many changes. But when we go through this changing, how do you cope with it? How was it for you?
I'm very fortunate in the sense that I actually live on my own, so I didn't have an overcrowding of people.
Yeah.
But because I work from home, what happened for me was I wasn't actually seeing clients face to face.
Oh, yeah.
I did miss that because
Hmm.
really everything else was done like we are working now via Zoom or the telephone, and it was technology, 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 technology. And I'll tell you what I truly, truly missed was touch.
Human connection, human.
Human connection, just the touch, or even seeing people, because I think yes, we could go out for walks and stuff, but there were some people that were so um, I suppose in fear, and I completely understand,
Yeah.
that you walked one side of the road and they'd almost cross and just sort of don't come near me,
Yeah.
and it was just a very strange. feeling.
Mm.
But the thing that I miss most was human touch, for sure.
Yeah. I was thinking that day we went out for a walk and I bumped into one of our friends. And of course, the first natural thing is you want to run and hug them, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
and
yes,
that's what I found really hard. I was like, okay, no, we shouldn't, or like, is that okay? So there is a lot of, we are worried about things. We are anxious. Of course, we want to be careful for ourselves, for our health, but we are more careful about for others as well, because I might be carrying it, I might not be carrying it, so I don't want to pass it on to other people. But you know why, like you said, like I said, and most of us are struggling with that human touch that we are missing.
yes.
Sometimes I feel that we have to lose something before we get the value of it. Do you feel that that might happen with a lot of people?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also, like you, and I know we've talked about this for every dire situation or for every extreme in a not so good way,
Hmm.
good always comes from it.
Yes.
And we must all get strength from that,
Yeah.
you know, because by nature we're very quick to go down to what our failures are
Yeah.
instead of looking at our successes and saying, I did that and I was, and it's the same way. So we just have to retrain the brain,
Yeah.
just change it slightly to say, okay, so how can I make the most of this situation?
Yeah. I
Because when I,
yeah.
sorry,
No, no, carry on. Yeah.
as I was talking with clients, because we had to do phone calls or Zoom calls, I used to say to them, how are you utilizing the time? And some of them were working from home, but others, they were skiving a little bit and just watching TV and doing mindless things. And I said, that's fine, but you could use it to learn a language. There are 101 things you could do. And they went, oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And if you are fortunate and you have a garden or even a little balcony, grow some herbs, do something different, and I think it helps all of us get a different perspective from the, I'm going to use the term boring, and I really don't mean to offend
Yeah.
anybody, 9 to 5, wake up at 7, da 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 da, go to work, come home, take a shower, go to the gym, come back, eat supper, da da da, have a chat, up, bed,
Yeah.
you know, and it's good. In many cases that's also brought people together.
Yes.
The pressures of work and school. Parents eat separately, children eat separately, and I think we've lost that
Somewhere,
togetherness.
somewhere. And I feel, I don't know about you, Florina, I feel that, as a human race, we were just going too fast and we were not
Yes,
pausing and stopping to think. And I feel in that way that it has been a blessing that
yes,
we all
absolutely.
stopped, and it's not one part of the world, it's whole world came to a halt.
Mm,
Why? Because one, we have given break to our atmosphere. Mother earth is recovering because of that.
exactly.
We all are feeling okay. We actually think that we always have to go and do work, and this is the only way life is. So life has actually shown that no, there's another way of being, another way of learning. But again, if you're not aware of it, if you're just being in that robotic way or routine, you're not going to change. But if you take this time to learn, I mean, one of my teacher always says that challenges always bring opportunities with it.
Mhm.
But it's about you seeing those opportunities. Are you in that space of seeing these opportunities? Because in last 3 4 months, I mean, the work I have done on myself, the things I have learned, created my own space,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
created this idea, came out from there, learning a lot of things, public speaking, more healing modality. And I was thinking, how can I make my life more better, and how I can add value to other people's life. And it's about just, life has shaken us all up and saying, wake up. The way you've been living, if you carry on living that way, things will go downhill, so wake up and change. So how important it is to think differently, to have this mindfulness in your routine, to say, okay, well, why am I living like that? Why most of us don't do it regularly?
You see, it's conditioning, and I'm just going to add one more thing, Sangeeta, if I may. We are human beings. We are not human doings. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's my line. I say to my clients, you're not human doing.
Correct. But you see, our culture, our upbringing is go, 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 we must do this, and we must do this, and we
Yeah.
must do this, and we must do this. And then, of course, we have this, don't we?
Oh, yes.
The phone, and it is so zook, 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 fast, fast, fast. And that's brilliant, that's technology. But I think that we have to breathe. You used a very important word, mindfulness. Yes. And we breathe. We take that for granted.
Yeah.
And even now, if you feel like doing it, let's just close our eyes and just focus on our breath and just breathe in. And as you're breathing in, feel that you're being kept alive, and then you breathe out. And that the lungs do that, the nose just does it on autopilot. Like waves, they come and they go, and we forget to appreciate.
Mm, that's beautiful word. It's about, and I feel that, somehow because we don't spend time with ourselves, we don't appreciate, we don't acknowledge who we are. We have forgotten to do it to other people as well. We are always looking at somebody and saying, "What are you giving me?" Give, appreciate, appreciate, love, love, love. But if we are not even stopping and appreciating ourselves, connecting to ourselves, connecting to who we are, like you beautifully said, we are human beings. How are you being while doing work? I always talk about, when mothers cook food for their children, or when people come, how are you being while cooking? I got few years back, I said to me, I need my music system in kitchen. And now, you can play on phone and things like that, because when I'm singing and dancing, that's when I'm in joy. So I said, I want my family to be joyful. How can I infuse that joy while I'm cooking? And that is all about being present, isn't it?
Completely, 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 completely. We are so not present in so many tasks. Think about you wake up in the morning, and then before you know it, it's 11 o'clock. And people don't actually know when we were going to work or whatever, how we got there.
Yeah.
We were in this hypnotic phase,
Yeah.
just going, and that is so, so important. And I think for a lot of people, we want a peaceful environment. And as you rightly said, when you're cooking your food and you're doing with your music, and I'm going to ask you for a ditty in a minute, so you better get ready, because I want to hear some of your lovely music. It's you put that intention
Yeah.
of love. I think intention is very important.
Yeah.
And when I rise, when I come to, I don't just get out of bed, but it's my intention for the day is to make the most of the day.
Yeah.
With it's, I don't know that it's going to be a completely perfect day. Could be an imperfect day. It's going to be up and down. But I always am appreciative of my good night's sleep. And today I can hear the birds singing, or the sun shining, or it's pouring this rain. But it's thank you for this day, God, Creator, Source.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, and we forget to even give gratitude to ourselves. We're always thanking other people, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. What about thank you to
To you.
yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what
Funny
what
you said that. Yeah, because we talked about that in my first show. It was all about self-image, and Aparna was asking about how can we love ourselves, and I thought, you know what, and that's so important, because we don't love ourselves, because we don't appreciate ourselves, we're looking that from other people.
correct.
Yeah. So I said to her that, just look in the mirror and say, I love you and I appreciate you totally for who you
Yes.
are. And more we do that, less needy we will become and or wait for other people to come. And some people, sometimes it will come from other people, sometimes it won't come from other people.
Correct.
They have so many other people to give to you. So it is so important. But one thing I feel, that whenever I used to talk to you when I was down,
Yes.
you used to just uplift me. And I think that is one thing I feel is important, because we all want to give the best to other people.
Yeah.
So how can we be the best first to give? Because I need to have something in me to be able to give. So how can people work on themselves?
By just really sitting again and being, I will use that word again, being. Okay. And just take a moment to be silent. A lot of people find that quite awkward.
Hmm.
Yeah. Take a moment to be silent and know that the air that I breathe, or your neighbor breathes, or your husband, or your father, or your mother, is the same as I breathe. But we have our own unique essence
Yeah.
that has been given to us by our Creator. And we want to connect with that essence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we forget why we are here. We're all here for a reason. And if we were all to do the same thing, because people want to be children, often they want to be music singers or stars or this or it, you know, if we were all those things, life would be very dull.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's finding, and I think this time, this COVID time, and we still got some quiet time, is to find out what is it in me that I love doing?
Yeah.
What brings
Joy.
me joy,
Mm.
happiness, laughter, peace?
Beautiful.
You know, and when you start to think, you just get a different perspective. Because Sangeeta, you have heard this with many of your clients.
Yeah.
I hate my job. And okay, we understand. I've been there when I've not enjoyed my job,
Yeah.
but I did something about it.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
the difference. Yes.
correct. We don't go to the gym and watch the running machine just going and think, well, it's doing a really good job. I'll just sit and watch it. you know, but that's how we are with ourselves. We don't actually look within and listen to what our needs are.
Mm.
Okay, and for me, COVID, personally, for me, COVID has given me that opportunity to grow even deeper with that. And when you are upbeat, and I know you're always laughing and always smiling, that is infectious. It is infectious.
Yeah.
Unlike the coronavirus, this is laughter, love. It's infectious. Because you look at somebody and you smile, I'd say 80% of the people would smile, maybe even more, 90 would
Yeah.
smile back. There may be some that would be, but that's fine. Yes. So it's that, I think, is sitting and being with self.
Mm.
And it can be mindfulness and meditation. They're relatively different things.
Yeah.
But we are so unfocused on what we are doing. We have 101 thoughts
In one go. Yeah.
in one go. And then we become overwhelmed. Yes, I know. You probably, if you're at home, you've probably got children screaming, and your husband's working from home, and he's saying, "Oh, do keep the children quiet." And yes, okay, you're going to say, "I hate." But it's, instead of reacting to it, is to say to the children, what do you want? Why are you making such a noise? Why are you we forget to talk
Yeah.
in a calm way.
Yeah. And I think you made that really good point, because if we have, like, for me, we have 4 people in the house, I might
Yes,
be in a joyful mood and the other person is being miserable, or they're going through rough times. So it's like how to bring that balance. And what you said, it's like ask them, communicate what's going on, can I help, and then sometimes, like, my kids are older and they just think, no, one don't want to talk and one wants to talk, that both of them are very different,
Oh, sure.
release their anxiety or worries or something like that. And it was hard being a mother. You think, like, okay, I remember when my children were young. So my older one was 2 years old, and I have learned his way, how he learned, how he connected. And then I thought, well, I know how to be a mother. Then the second one comes and he's like totally opposite. Oh my God, do I have to learn all over again? you know but it's such a good quality. But I remember, and even now sometimes we laugh and I say, I observe them so closely. I know their ins and out because I have spent so much time being with them rather than doing 20 different things, that I know when my child is happy. I know what they are thinking. I know,
Yes.
and it doesn't mean you get it right all the time, but as long as you know how to connect with them, sometimes it backfires you. you know
Correct. Yes. Sometimes yes, it does,
but at
but
least,
it's going to happen sometime.
absolutely, but most of the times they know that I will understand them. They can come and talk to me if they want to do that. But it is about, again, and I say to people that you can be doing a job where you're unhappy, you want to be somewhere else, again, like you said, but you're not taking any action.
Yes.
And I am, I can sit here and think, wow, I wish I would be with Florina in London. But unless and until I take action, I'm not going to get there.
Correct.
Sit
Yes.
here and be miserable and say, why I'm not there? Why can't I do this? I want to do something. But again, as human beings, we know we need to take action. But again, it's not just any action. It has to be aligned action. That's how I talk about 3 steps. I talk about first, awareness. You need to be aware of that you're unhappy in a certain relationship or certain situation. Then you have to accept. It is about just, okay, you are there, accept it, don't fight for it, you know but then align your mind and emotions and say, how can I take aligned action? It has to be in a right direction. It's not just any action. It has to be thought through. It has to be
Yes.
really planned, and put your energy there. But I want to ask you something. When a client come to you and they're going through change, one, I know change is very difficult for
Yes.
people. How can you guide people and say, okay, if you're going through for example, a relationship breakdown, how do you guide them to say, how will they cope with it, or what to do in that moment? Because it's very hard when we are going through rough time, when we are emotionally really involved and down, we don't know what to do. So how do you guide somebody like that?
I think one, to be gentle with self.
Okay.
Okay. And yes, I'm very much for being in the moment and grieving the situation, if it's a loss of a relationship, if they didn't want that to happen, or if there is anger,
Hmm.
or if there is frustration, whatever it is, we must be with it.
With it, yeah.
Yeah. And once you're aware of it, ask yourself, how is this making me feel?
Hmm. Tune into your feelings, yeah.
Totally tune into your feelings. Because in a relationship, we all know it, it's about a compromise. Yes, there are two people in any father, son, daughter, whatever, there's more than you, there is a relationship.
Yeah.
And we have to compromise. And sometimes we don't necessarily get where the other person is coming from. Sometimes we feel they don't get us.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when that clash keeps happening,
Hmm.
hey, it's never going to work unless we address it. So what I say to people is feel the feeling,
Yeah.
really feel it, and ask, what can I do to take me away from that? To take me into my term would be a higher vibration or peace.
Yeah.
Because we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Otherwise, we'd have wings, we'd be flying.
Yes. I would
Yeah,
love
we'll be. Okay, we can try. Shall we just try and fly? Yes, and how about you? What do you say to your clients,
I think
Sangeeta?
what you said, it was perfect, because I always say to them that feel it to heal it,
Yes,
because we are taught, and I think maybe we have learned from, like I said, primary caregivers, that we avoid it, we run away from it, we ignore it. Sometimes we keep ourselves busy. A lot of ways people try to deal with change or pain. And I said, and that is my life experiences taught me that how painful it may be, I sit with it.
yes,
Whether it take me a day, whether it'll take me 2 days, whether it'll take me more than that, I have to process that, because
yeah,
unless I process it, and I have found that when I have processed it, no matter how long it took, and we, as we said, we all are different, we all are unique. Sometimes if you have learned a process for, and you have done it few times, it'll be quicker process.
quicker.
Sometimes
Yes,
it can
yes,
be longer process. So as soon as I allow that feeling to pass through me, I heal, and then I come up with, I feel that my vibrations automatically lift, because I allowed that to pass. And I give an analogy about, like, if you've gone to a restaurant and you have eaten bad food, unless that food passed through your body system, you're not going to feel normal or better. So same is with the emotion. Unless that emotion of pain, grief, anger, irritation, whatever it is, unless you allow it to pass through you, you're not going to feel okay. So rather than hiding away from it, rather than running away, and I see a lot of problems with drugs and drinking and a lot
yes.
of other things is happening because people are not, well, maybe they are not aware how to deal with it, because nobody has ever told them. They have seen people putting it, like they say, put under the rug or carpet, and then, or just, okay, I will just put myself in my work so I won't even have to think about it.
That's yes,
It's
yes,
running away from it. And I know it, and I truly appreciate that. It's very uncomfortable, it's very painful sometimes, but I know when you allow yourself to grieve, even with my father, when he passed away, I allowed myself to grieve for totally, 3 weeks when we were there. It's a healing process of connecting and healing. You come out of the other side feeling so much more better, much stronger, and you have more clarity, I feel.
yes, yes. You used a very good analogy. If you eat bad food, it remains in your body.
It's going to trouble you.
You're going to be toxic. Okay, then you're going to get all sorts of illnesses. Your stomach is going to hurt. Your kidneys or your liver. It's going to affect the body because every organ is going to be working overtime. And it's the same thing with these emotions. We get stressed, and the stress then just stress is a killer.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
Because we are also, and I don't know whether this is necessarily a generalization for our Asian community, that we don't verbalize.
Yeah, I think it is.
We keep everything swallow it down, swallow it down, swallow it
keep the
down.
keep the lid up. That's all.
Correct. Don't show anybody how you're
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah, yeah.
you know. But if others want to show you how they're feeling, you have to handle it. Well, I say, crap to that, excuse my French.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
You, why should somebody else get away with it?
yeah,
The other thing that is very appropriate to mention here too, and I don't know if your parents did this. You got guests coming home, yeah, to your house, and I don't know, there's fruit or they've cooked a food and this.
yeah.
Now you give them the best apple. Don't you take that apple. Don't give the best to them. Give the biggest piece of cake to them. You're thinking, oh, I like that cake so much. I want to eat it, please. No, give it to them. And then no. And then you deprive yourself.
Yeah.
Now that is conditioning, okay? And
Mm.
that is very silly conditioning.
Yeah.
In from my experience and my journey of where I am at now, I would certainly not be advising that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't also say grab the first thing either. That would be good. Excuse me, I'm just going to help myself first. You know, you're the guest.
Whether you have or not. I think that's something I really struggled when I was growing up, in the sense that because I was the youngest of the siblings, it was always about my mom always taught me, but she's your older sister, he's your older brother, so you must listen to them, or so I always felt that I came last, and my whatever I had to say didn't have that value because I have to listen to them. And I grew up, and I think I remember having this conversation with my mom which got a little heated and uncomfortable, but I was saying, no, actually you're telling me they matter and I don't.
Correct.
you
Yes,
know
that's
and
exactly right.
I said, yeah, I understand that I need to have love and respect for them, but why shouldn't they love and they should why shouldn't they have love and respect for me? Just because I'm born few years after them doesn't mean I deserve any
That
less.
you does yes, exactly. Yes.
And she didn't know what to say, how to answer that, but I was thinking, no, I'm done with that. And that was first time I stood up for myself. I said, no, now in
Yes, we
my life,
can't. Yeah.
yeah, I say, look, I absolutely love people and absolutely love my family and my siblings, but it's about, no, if they are going to treat me like crap, or if they are not going to pay any attention, or and they don't worry about how I feel, then why should I always pay attention to how they feel?
Yes.
Sometimes it's harsh, but truth is difficult to hear sometimes. And you mentioned it so
Oh,
beautifully. In our Asian culture, it's like the other person is God, our guest, and we say,
completely,
"Eh,
completely.
like, हमारे मेहमान भगवान हैं." But yeah, but who
It's
are you?
it's so true, you know, and we have got to break that.
Hmm.
We've got to break that,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
because that gets us nowhere.
And it's so
Absolutely.
uncomfortable, it's unfair, and then we grow, like you said, it's programming. We program that a child, the child will hear that 10 times, and they will say everybody else is more important than I am.
Yes.
And then we have this whole generation of people who don't have self-worth.
Yep.
Their self-esteem is low, and then we are working on that. But if we talk about that, and that's the whole intention of this program, Chit Chat and Shy, and we will have fun and we'll talk about food, but
Yes.
you know what, we need to talk about certain things where we shine away from it. It's not going to work. We need to talk about it. We need to interact with people, and I really want our listeners as well to comment on that, if they have suffered like that, and what were
Yes.
their beliefs, and how they have beliefs sometimes serve us and sometimes don't serve us.
Don't say this. Yes.
And
Yes.
then what are your beliefs? So become aware of your beliefs, and we are here to answer all your questions. So do comment, do ask questions. If you have any question from Florina or for me, type in, and we'll leave our details as well if you want to connect with any of us. If you feel connected to our energy and you want us to help you to guide you in that change if
Yes.
you're going through something rough, because we all need support. We all need somebody to say,
Correct.
hey, I have done it, you can do it too. And Florina, and I'm so grateful for you as well, because every time I was down, I knew I could connect to you. I knew you will understand me, and we connected on very first time. So it's like
Yes. Thank you.
we're
Yes.
lost long sisters, aren't we? So
Yes, yes, it's so true, and I think that that's also you brought up a very important point, Sangeeta, that if you our listeners decide to have a conversation or engage with working with us, it is important that they resonate with your energy, because if you don't, it will
will not
not
work.
work.
Yeah.
Period. It will not.
Yeah.
You
And
know, there.
as you're saying that we are all unique, we have our essence. And so many times that, and that's the point of bringing lots of different experts with their journeys, with how they say, how they deal with life, is like, not everybody will connect with me. Somebody will connect with you, somebody will connect
Correct.
somebody else.
Absolutely.
And the whole purpose is it to, one, to have a conscious conversation, one, to bring more awareness to people, and second, to say, hey, we are here for you. You're not there alone, and life can get sometimes challenging, but you know what, you'll get out of it. But you need to become aware if something is not right, and then you need to take the right action to reach out. And
Yes.
that's the point. Florina, I want to ask you, why is it so hard for us to ask for help?
because we feel that we ought to be able to take care of it. Whether we are teenagers or we will feel judged for
Yeah.
bringing up a comment of, "Mummy, I don't like this," or "I don't like this person." You know,
Yeah, you would
in
get
my
that.
day, don't. What do you mean? What do you mean? You know, it would just literally,
Yeah.
and it was just like, "Be quiet now.
Yeah.
Don't speak to me like." So that's another reason
Mm.
I feel people are embarrassed because they think they're showing a vulnerability that they have. And when they show this vulnerability, that makes them even more exposed.
Mm.
And that could be a reason, you know. I mean, for example, if you take somebody that has been bullied,
Mm.
okay, they're hardly going to stand up and say, "Oh, I got this." But once they understand why a bully behaves the way he or she does, it's a different thing, you know, because the bully wants to be like these people. And then you start to really see these people just blossom.
Yeah.
And for me, like I'm sure for you too, that's the beauty of it all. Yeah, that's the joy of the work we do.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, when you
You
see
know,
people's life transform and how they
ah,
come out of their shell, and do the things they want to do always, that just brings me so much joy. And you said it's such a good point, because I remember growing up and thinking that, you know, when, especially when, like we were talking about guests, or when like our aunts and uncles and or our parents sitting with, you know, having adults kind of get-togethers, and a child comes in, and then they are told off, you know, don't
yes,
talk or
yes,
don't
yeah,
interfere, or like you said, if somebody says, well, I don't like that uncle or auntie or my
yes,
cousin,
yes,
then you're told off. And so the child learns that how not to be authentic, you know, that it doesn't pay off when I speak the truth, so they will hide their truth, start to
yes,
hide their truth. And that's one thing I couldn't do. And I remember that when I remember when I was growing up, it made me feel really uncomfortable. So when I had children, I always allowed them to speak their truth, you know, to say,
good,
okay, you know.
amazing.
And I remember even going to get-togethers, and my younger one, you know, older one was happy to come. My youngest didn't like it, didn't enjoy it. And I remember sitting in the parties, and he used to just sit with me, and all other kids are
Oh,
playing in the room and something, and he's holding my arm and sitting with me. And most of my friends used to tell me, like, ask him to go, you know, we are adults, we are sitting and talking, why doesn't he go? And they used to tell me, well, you spoil him, you don't tell him. I said, look, if my child feel comfortable sitting next to me and don't comfortable going and playing because he's been bullied or he's been judged or he's been teased, why would I not allow my child to do what he feels comfortable doing?
doing.
You know, and they used to look at me like I'm abnormal mom, like I'm
Yes,
spoiling
yes.
him,
She's very weird,
know.
very
Yeah, it's
strange.
like,
Yes,
why
yeah.
don't you? But I know that. And it for a long time, and I said to him, I said, why don't you go? He said, but I don't like it. Do you have problem me sitting with you? I said, baby, I don't have any problem. And I remember when he grew older, then he used to say, well, I don't enjoy those get-togethers or those people. Is that okay? I don't want to go. I said, baby, I am going to have get together because I enjoy that. I don't want you to be miserable. You know, so at the time when he grew older, when I could leave him, I said, okay, well, we are not too far. I cooked meal for him, and I said, you enjoy doing what you do, and let me go out and have fun. You know, me, daddy, and Rahul, we can go out and have fun. And we come back, and then people used to question, why don't you put pressure on your child? Why you listen to them too much? And I thought, well, you live the way you want to, I will live the way I want to.
Yes.
And now when I look back, their kids are not that close to them, you know, because the parents just order them, and they expect kids
Yes.
to listen. And I am listening to my children, and I so often get this question, and my even close friends ask and say, how come your kids listen to you so much? And I said, because I listen to them. I said, I have allowed them 80% of the time, I allow them to do what they want to do. 20% of the times when I think they need to be with me. So if there's an occasion, when there's a mandir I have to go to, or, you know, I have to, then they know that it must be really important if mom is asking us to do
Yes.
something. and then they reciprocate and respect that, you know. And even when I ask that 20% times, if sometimes the answer is no, I don't put pressure. I don't feel the need of making my child miserable,
Yeah.
because that doesn't make me happy at all,
No.
you know. And I know that I have many questions many parents have asked me, and I thought, you know what, my responsibility is for my child to be happy, you know, and I need to give them that space and time. And it doesn't make them any less of a child, any less loving or caring. You know, this is who I am, because
Yeah.
I have suffered. I don't want my children to suffer. But I see now that it has paid off because of the way I get the cuddles, I get the love. I do have
Yes, but
I do have difficult times sometimes, but that's
of
okay.
course it's normal.
Yeah.
You would be abnormal if you didn't
If you
have
don't
if
argue, or if you
you
don't have,
don't have any
but
argument, you
I feel
know.
so close to them, you know. I feel
Yes.
very close to them,
Yes.
so they know I was tuned into what they wanted, and my primary focus was my child need to be happy, you know.
Yeah, you know, because I think the way we're brought up, and you know, that from 0 to 5, 6, even 7,
Yeah,
7 to 13, 13 to 21,
absolutely.
this becomes who they are. They grow up with those habits and those beliefs.
Yeah.
And if they continue and we don't address them, they become big deviations.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We will
You
talk about
know?
that. You know, boys have gone through that, and I have gone through that as well, and we need to tackle these things. But
Yes.
again, it's about, I think we all need to have that time to pause, time to
Yeah.
think, rather than just rushing and doing things robotically. And I'm hoping that through our show, um, you know, it'll allow people to think and pause and maybe ask some questions, and hopefully we'll cheer them up, we'll support them, we'll send them love.
Absolutely, yes, exactly. You know, whatever. If nobody sort of signs up or calls us or makes a comment, you know, I hope they take away something that they will be able to use in everyday life. Because this is, we're human, we're
Yeah.
normal, just as they are, and we have probably experienced what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think to do our type of work, if your life has been in inverted commas a bed of roses, it would it's quite difficult to do if you haven't experienced pain or sadness or aloneness or depression or any of those things, because you have an understanding of where they're coming from, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
Um, that's what I feel. Yes.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I got a beautiful quote for change as well. You know, so if you're going through a bit of change now, the work is changing. Maybe you're out of work. Maybe you're looking that, you know, going things normal back is it's a new normal. We are a little bit anxious going out. If you're struggling with that, remember, there's a beautiful quote which I want to share with you. Is the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new.
Mm.
So if the new norm is, yes, you're working from home, yes, there are lots more people, find balance for time, find time for yourself to connect with you, as Florina was saying, you know, really connect to your essence, because we all have essence. We are all unique, yet we are all connected. So we really need to be connected. If we can reach out to somebody to help or ask for help, being vulnerable, I think, is the biggest part of us human being. You know, showing our emotions, sharing our emotion, that doesn't make us weak, that doesn't make us any less than anyone else who is maybe faking it, looking strong but maybe breaking inside. And we have a lot of examples of that. So if you are, and if you feel connected to Florina's energy or me, do reach out. You know, we are here to help, we are here to serve, and of course we will try our best. But Florina, I know we can talk about this, and we will carry on in our few other shows, but it's time to have some fun.
I want to hear you sing.
All right, we'll
Let's
come to
sing.
that. But I got some fun questions for you. Okay, one
Yes.
is very simple. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is marzipan.
Oh wow, why is that?
because it's sweet and it's delicious, and I love almonds, and it's
I was
just
thinking, yeah.
scrummy. Mm-mm-mm. That's mine. What's yours?
Um, Mine is not sweet. I think I would love, like mine is like paranthas. I've just made
Oh,
today.
what
Yeah.
have you?
Oh yeah, stuffed paranthas. I made methi aloo veg.
Oh, my mouth is watering.
Well,
Wow.
never know. I might do some videos of cooking as well. A lot of people have asked me. So I stuffed that methi aloo veg into, the plain flour, the atta, and then yeah, stuffed parantha with yogurt. And then after that,
Nom, 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 yum.
right.
Ooh.
Okay, another fun one. This is
Yes,
fun. Did
yes.
you ever lie to your parents? And if you did, what was that about?
I did. Of course I lied to my parents. Oh my God. I lied, yes. And what was it about?
Oh,
It was about eating sweets, toffees in particular, from the larder.
oh, without
And
the
I would take, you can tell I have a sweet tooth. I would take a handful
okay.
of toffees. Now, I must have been a bit dim actually, because if the jar's full and I've taken a handful,
She will
my
not.
mum's going to know that somebody's, and I stuffed them in. And obviously, I was a bit careless, and the droppings would fall as I didn't pick them up and stuff. And mum, because they used to call me Rena.
Okay.
Rena, did you eat any sweets? No, mum, not me. No, of course not. No, are you sure? Don't lie to me. So who ate them? I don't know. Must be my
Must
sisters.
be someone.
That wasn't me. And then empty your pockets.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Some
And
sweet
then
wrappers.
there were the wrappers. So, what
Wow.
did we tell you about lying? And then, the thing went on, but I still would, I still would sneak, even though I had that. I got caught. I would still go in and take two or three,
Yeah.
and I'd adjust the jar. I was very clever. I'd adjust the jar, the jar, so it didn't look like I'd put my hand in.
You got better at it.
I definitely see. I'm a quick learner.
You
My
are.
God! So I was just like, no, I'm going to do this. Yes. So no. Yes, I did lie. Yes, over sweets.
All right. If you could go back in time, and you have the power to change one world event, what would that be?
A world event that I would change would be, in fact, you can still apply now, is that we must learn peace at school. Teachers must teach us about peace at school,
Hmm.
about just being peaceful, as opposed to, we forget that as children need that so much. They are so pressurized with the technology and the toys that they have and this, and somebody's got this Nike gear on and they don't have it, and parents can't afford, it's just peace, that it's we all breathe the same air.
Yes. Yes.
The Queen, the most holy person,
Yeah.
same as me. So I think that's what I would change. That would be, for me, that would be totally, totally amazing.
Yeah. Changing the
Tot-
system.
Changing the educational system, because that's how you and I learned.
Yeah.
All of this baggage that we have carried, and that many of our listeners are still carrying.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
I'm curious to know, what would you change?
Um, One world event I will change is the partition of India and Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has impacted, I know it has impacted my parents, a lot of people. And because of that, there's lot of animosity, lot of hatred.
Oh, yes, it's hatred. Yes, war. Yeah.
I would go back and have the one in Hindustan and things that, because we are so similar, we are so loving and caring, and that one event changed millions of
Yes.
lives, and people are still carrying that grudge and that pain, and we'll talk about pain and grudges in our next episode. But
Yes.
you know how time flies, and yeah, thank you so much for answering my.
Oh, we've come to the end. Oh no. Oh my goodness, it's gone by very quickly, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's gone very quickly, but I know you asked for a song, so I will
Yes, here we go.
just a few lines. Okay, that's one of
Okay,
my
okay.
favorite songs I used to sing, and I think in Bristol people know me because of that song. So
Oh, how
anyone can
lovely.
sing that. Yeah, okay. चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को नजर नहीं चुराना सनम बदल के मेरे तुम जिंदगानी कहीं बदलना जाना सनम.
Yay! Bravo! Thank you. That was beautiful.
You and that's what I was thinking, that everything I love laughing, I love connecting with people, I love talking, broadcasting, and I love singing, and of course not forgetting my chai. I thought,
Yes, exactly.
bring everything together and give people something to laugh about, something to think about, and something maybe they can share. Even guys, if you're listening and you have a amazing recipe that we can try, do post a comment, do share the recipe, and you never know, we might end up making that and sharing that with you. So before I go, I want to say thank you, Florina, for being here, for being such a wonderful person, a friend, and a guide to many, many people. And till next time we meet, we'll talk about lots more important topics. We'll talk about our journeys, maybe, and how we can help lots of other people. But I want to say, people, if you're struggling, if you're going through a challenge, it could be challenge of COVID, it could be challenge of a relationship breakdown, it could be a challenge of a loved one leaving you. Remember that life is all about ebb and flow. Life goes up and down, and what we need to do is we need to go with the flow, we need to go with the change and become aware, accept, and maybe then take some aligned action. But one thing you can do is, whatever is happening, go in front of that mirror and smile, because smile lifts the vibration and it'll really fuel you. So a little bit of joy, a little bit of laughter, make sure you add that in your life on daily basis, because life is all about learning, integrating, flowing, and expanding. So
Indeed.
this is me and Florina saying bye-bye. Thank you so much. Make sure you comment, you like, share, and subscribe our channel. And until next time, keep smiling. Take care. Bye bye, Florina.
Bye. Bye bye. Thank you so much.